no typical girl. I ain't no typical. I ain't cheerleading while the boys play ball. I ain't no typical girl. No. I wanna be right there in the middle of it all.
And welcome back to another episode of the Music Cafe, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight or this afternoon, whatever time zone you are in. We have such great fun on the show. I really do. I always say that the reason I have the show is because I'm always big fans. I'm such a big fan of all the guests that I have on here. And tonight we have some incredible songwriters and a special pop-in guest. Dun, dun, dun. So I really hope that you guys are going to enjoy tonight. If you have any questions, any comments, pop them below. If you're watching from Facebook or from YouTube, pop them there. We are happy to chat to you. Any advice that you need, we got you, boo. We got you, boo. Also, if you're new to this cafe, pick up your laptop. Go over to the kitchen. Make yourself a cup of coffee. Grab a piece of cake if your mom bakes, which is quite nice, and then go back to the couch or the bed and then sit back and relax and enjoy the show, everybody. If you're a regular, thank you so much for coming back. This is fantastic. Well, I'm gonna invite our wonderful guests on to the screen. First, we've got a beautiful singer-songwriter from South Africa. Her name is Amy Chassing. Hi, Amy. Hey. And then we've got another wonderful lady that I met in Nashville a couple of years ago. Her name is Maisley. Hi, Maisley.
Hello.
Hey. And of course, we have to throw some men into this. We have to do that. We've got a fantastic dude all the way from Sweden. I mean, I'm so excited for this. I can't wait. And he writes for people, which is quite fun. And he's in Sweden. I mean, you've got you've got Nashville, center of the universe when it comes to music, and you got Sweden. And so naturally, we've got Oscar Linderoth. Hi, Oscar. Hey.
What an introduction.
Yeah. You need all of it. And actually, I should have actually said way more because, I mean, there's some really cool things in China that were happening with your music. So we're going to get into all of that, which is awesome. And then, guys, we've got a very special pop guest. I'm going to move the mic a little bit. Over here, we have fame.org, who endorse the Music Cafe. They are a non-profit organization of lawyers that give their advice, their time, their energy pro bono to South African artists that need their help. And so we've got the person that runs it, a good friend of mine, Christian Stain. Hi, Christian. Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining the cafe, this Music Cafe tonight. I'm really excited for today's show because, I mean, you guys are all so experienced in songwriting, in deals, in dealing with people, in working with people, and I really can't wait to dive into all of this. So I'm going to start with just going around the room with a hashtag Tinder bio version of who you are. Amy, would you like to start with just a hashtag Tinder bio version of who you are?
Okay, I'm a singer-songwriter from South Africa. I'm best known for coming 7th on The Voice in South Africa, and I've recently been going all over Europe writing songs, doing more stuff in the songwriting world, which has become kind of my new dream.
Oh, that is so cool. And you met Oscar. Did you meet Oscar in Sweden? Am I right?
No, I actually didn't. I met a lot of people that he knows. We kind of met by accident. I got an email saying, "Hey, are you ready for the co-write today?" And I was like, "What?" And I didn't check my emails. And then I was like, "Okay." And then we just met and we wrote an amazing song. And we've been friends ever since throughout this whole lockdown. And we try and write together once a week now, starting this week. So...
That is very cool. Well, since we're talking to Oscar, do you mind giving everybody just a hashtag Tinder bio version of who you are?
Don't you just write like how you doing in Tinder?
No.
No.
Oh, but are you sure?
Oh, sorry. I'm an ex-entrepreneur.
How you doing? What you up to?
Yeah, right. So ex-entrepreneur. I've been working in marketing and project management for a lot of years, but songwriting is always what I've been coming back to for fun. So
That's
like
so cool.
one year ago, I left the whole entrepreneur world and kind of been only writing songs since then.
That is, I mean, to go from business and leave that 9 to 5, essentially that's security, and to go into music and follow your passion. I mean, that takes guts. That takes absolute guts and drive. So, firstly,
Thank you.
well done, congrats on that. And I can't wait to just dive into where your mind was at and how did you approach it, because I see our business as our music industry as being a business, and you can have a business mind about you. So I'm sure it's helped you, but we'll get into all of that. I'm gonna hop to Maisley.
Hello.
Can you please give everybody just like a Tinder bio version of who you are?
Well, I was born in Poland, but I basically grew up in Nashville, and I've been writing ever since I was 7 years old. I only had one dream, and that was to be a singer-songwriter. So I've been very lucky to do that. And I guess like my biggest thing that I've ever done was getting a deal on a Chinese game, and my music was in Cheetah Mobile's game called Piano Tiles and Dancing Line. So a lot of like Chinese music stuff, and then I ended up making my own game with music. So it's just kind of, for me, I guess, my Tinder bio is the singer-songwriter that tries to merge tech with music.
I dig that. That is so cool. And again, I think what I love about these music rooms that we have is that it's always full of business people. Even if people in the past, the normal average Joe would have thought, oh no, musos are just, it's all about the music, man, you know. But it's so not. It's so not. Everybody forgets about the business side of showbiz. So to be an entrepreneur in that space, mainly, and to actually develop your own game, and to have the savvy about you to also sign the right deals when you got those other two games, because I mean they've had over 1 billion downloads, those games, which is mind blowing, and to have the savvy to sign that deal, I mean something else. So I can't wait to dive into that. And we've just lost our pop and guest, which is very sad. I wanted to talk about Christian. Oh, why did he leave? That is terrible. Anyway, we'll chat to him in a minute. I think what I'd like to do is just chat to everyone. Where did music start? Oh, wait, he's back. Hang on, he's back. He's back. Oh, there you are. I see you. We lost you. You just left the room. You just left the cafe. Why?
Sorry. Because you said I'm a popping guest, so I popped out and I popped back in.
You popped back in. I love that. Well,
I live in Kempton Park, and the studio's here in Kempton Park. So every time an airplane takes off, everything drops.
Wow. Happy days. Happy days. Well, I think, would you like to give everyone just like a Tinder bio version of who you are, and then just what fame is? Because I'd never do a good enough job in describing what fame does.
No, you do a good job, but I'll try my best. So I'm Christian Steyn. I'm ex-musician turned attorney turned IP activist, if you can put it like that. And I founded Fame late last year in a bid to assist South African musicians, specifically on copyright and industry-related agreements, free of charge, because most musicians can't afford attorneys. So, yeah, that's what we're here for.
And I love your initiative, and I'm so glad that you've come on board with us. And the reason why I wanted you on tonight is because we literally have people that sign contracts all the time in this room, and I would love you just to hop in and also give your opinion on the basics that every muso needs to know, and what are the big mistakes that we all make as creatives, because we often just get lost in the creative space, in the joy that somebody wants our song or wants to produce us or whatever it is. So it's always good to know that there is this knowledge in the back of our head to always look out for XYZ, which is what we're going to chat about later. But let's just chat about where music started. Oscar, can I start with you, because you've gone from business and also brand identity. I mean, what a great thing to have in your back pocket, brand identity. Am I right, consulting for that? Going from that space into the music space, has music always been in the background? Have you always played an instrument? And then why the shift? Why the shift?
I would flip it around, because it's music that's always been there. The entrepreneur thing is, it's like growing up, you need something reliable or something that gives value to customers or companies or people. So the music has always been the dream and the the fun stuff. But it's good to have something to fall back on, So I guess that's it's also fun. It's all working with
True.
people and doing consultancy jobs is meeting people. You find a problem and you try to help them with a solution. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
totally. And when it comes to the business world and then this music world, have you been able to like use certain skills when it comes to dealing with people, your knowledge in business, and then putting that into your
Well,
music, into sales?
definitely, like the simplest thing is like picking up the phone and taking contact with people, because a lot of songwriters don't want to like just put 5 minutes to call a publisher or so, and it's so
Right.
simple. So if you only do that small thing, you're gonna be in a better place than 95% of the people, I
Yeah.
think.
Just pick up the phone. Just pick up the phone. I think that's there's a word
Yeah.
that always, and Christian will be able to testify to this. There's always a word that floats around. It's the word network, and then follow up. Like we always want to say there's a bit of a dirty word to network, because you're rubbing shoulders and you're rubbing elbows with people, and you can't do that now, COVID. But you're always doing that, and it's and you always think of it as a dirty thing, as something slide into those DMs, But actually, it's what pretty much makes this world go around. I mean, I literally met Maisie by we were both in Nashville. Who did we meet through? I'm trying to remember who's
Jeff. I think it was
Cohen.
Jeff Cohen. Yeah, Jeff
Yeah,
Cohen.
he wrote the theme tune for Paw Patrol. Am I right?
I think that was it. Yeah, we just ended up randomly grabbing dinner the same night we met.
Yeah, that's so true. So we literally met while networking. And actually, Maisie, would you
Yeah.
be able to just tell us where did I know you started singing at 7? I mean, started writing songs, singing at 7. But have you come from a musical family? I mean, what is that space that you come from?
No. Like my story is no. Like my family could not be further from music. They are actually in tech, so I came from tech, and that's why I kind of understand the whole world.
Yeah.
I always wanted to do something other than tech, so I was a very rebellious child who knew that she never ever wanted to do anything related to business. So I just kind of found songwriting. I wanted to be an actress, and I figured, okay, if I'm a singer, I can do all of that. I can make my own costumes. Like, I can be an actress in my own music videos. I'm going to do that. That sounds really good. And I was obsessed with Nashville. I was obsessed with like country music. My mom loved Bon Jovi, and they had this country record, Lost Highways. I was like digging it. I was like, where did they record that? What did they do? Who wrote that? And that's actually like Dan Huff and Blackbird Studios, where I ended up recording my first album later on, like years later.
Yeah. That is amazing. That is amazing. And I guess also having parents who've got that business mind I know with my parents, they have instilled quite a few business rules with how you approach life, right? Is it the same with you, where there are just certain things that you just know how to handle them because of what your parents have taught you?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely say that I'm very lucky, and they've taught me a lot, like about business and about kind of applying that to music. And I definitely think that helped, because you look at music as an actual business and you apply those like business like rules or whatnot, however you want to call it, but you just kind of become more serious about what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, like music is 90% business, 10% music, sadly.
Oh, no, it's so true. It's 10%, and it's 90% hard work and 10% talent. So yeah, I totally agree with you. Well, Amy, you've seriously like just been working and working and you work hard for your money. Oh yeah, you do. And I mean, you have lived in London. Amazing. Are you currently based in London right now, in the UK?
Yeah, London. Notting
London.
Hill.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Notting Hill. Oh, I love Notting. I traveled there a couple of years ago and I fell in love with it. Oh, okay. No, not gonna be jelly. Not gonna be jelly. So, Amy, you have lived in London and you've lived in South Africa. I mean, and you've gone over the globe with cruise ships and cruise ships, and I mean, you've done it all. But where did it start for you? Where did music start? Have you come from a musical background, and why did you get into it?
So, music was never intentional in my life at all. I was one of those boffin kids at school who won the Dux Prize and like super clever, and I only would study. And then one day I went to a braai, which is like a barbecue, and and my cousin was learning to play guitar, and I was so bored at this braai. I was like, oh my word, can you teach me how to play a chord or something? And he taught me how to play C, and I was like, oh my word, this is like super cool. And then I went home and I was like, Dad, where's your guitar? He goes into the garage and he takes out this dusty guitar and the strings are like rusted. And then he starts teaching me chords like from when he used to play back in the day, you know. And that was when I was about 15. And then I never put that guitar down. I never put it down. And my music went like this and my grades went like this and my mom was not impressed. And I dropped accounting and all of those subjects, and I started doing like drama and music, and I was like, Mom, I'm going to be a rock star. If I don't make it by the time I'm 17, it's over. I'm 27 now. So, yeah, that's how it started for me.
I think that's amazing. And so also, I mean, I don't want to sound weird, but you also you started when you were a teenager, and when you're that age, you're already thinking about, oh, I know I want this sort of job. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an accountant. And to sort of shift gears a bit, like Oscar, like having done a business, having had the business, having been in the business world, and for you having studied, you are aiming for varsity for the university for with those subjects and with those grades, and suddenly just shifting gear. I mean, what did your parents think?
Yeah.
My dad loved it. He was like totally on board. Anybody who ever meets me knows that my dad is with me at every single gig. He's got his camera. He's now like invested into learning sound engineering. He's learning how to drum now. And like, I'm an only child, so me and my dad are like best friends. And so he loved it, but my mom is an accountant and she was like, but what are you going to do for money and everything? I was like, Mom, I earn more per hour. I mean, out of a COVID-19 world, I earn more than people who've studied years and years, because like if you really work hard at this career, you can make it work. You really, really can make it work. But I mean, it is hard.
No, and I do like what you're saying, that you can make it work, because not all of us, and that's just, it's just the way of life, that not all of us are going to be Taylor Swifts. Not all of us are going to be that way. But it does not mean that this industry is broken. It doesn't mean that it's broken. It's only as strong as you make it and as strong as you work it. So if you don't make it all the way to the very top, there's still everything in between. You can definitely make a living doing it. Maybe not the most amazing living where you want to buy your parents the mansion that they deserve, but you can still make a living, and you got to make it work. You got to network. You got to follow up. And you got to make that phone call. You just got to make the phone call, like Oscar did. I like that hashtag. Make the phone call.
I'm all about making those phone calls.
I love that. I think that's so cool. Well, actually, I wanted to chat to you because you came 7th in The Voice South Africa, which is am I right? It was 7th. Am I right? That is just amazing. I mean, congratulations, and for having the guts for doing that. And I actually wanted to ask you, because this is going to tie into something I'm about to ask Christian. When it comes to entering that space, I mean, why did you do it, and what was your mindset? I mean, because you were doing your career, you were doing it, you were dressing a certain way, you were writing type of music, you were singing a type of music. Going into that space, what were you wanting to get out of it? And what did you actually get out of it?
So I'm going to use your favorite word there. Entering that show was never about winning. It was about networking. 100%. So I went in there thinking, okay, I'm going to meet all of these amazing people. I'm going to have my book, and you can ask the production crew. I was the girl walking around with my little book saying, can I have your email address? They were like, why? And I was like, because I need it. You never know if I'm going to need it. So I would literally go and make friends with all the tech guys. I'd make friends with the sound crew, and the other contestants didn't really like me. And that was horrible, because like, I can't stand it if somebody doesn't like me. I'm just like, but why? I just want to be your friend. So that's like quite odd, because they saw me as networking as like almost, I don't know, they didn't like it.
It's dirty to network, apparently.
Yeah. So, but for me, it wasn't about that. It was about, I want to get to know the music producer of the whole show, so that one day maybe I can work with him again. This is the most amazing experience, because I'll tell you, being on a show like that, especially The Voice, the crew and the production team, they are absolutely amazing. The fact that they put this all together, we have 1 week to put together a show, and we rehearse, and it's like 16 hours a day, every day. You never get a day off. And it's really grueling and it's hard. So like by the time I left, I was glad that I left. I was really tired. So
Wow.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
and I found it interesting that a lot of people didn't like you because of you wanting to use the opportunity that it presented itself. I mean, I think that's really sad, and I think I'm really grateful to have found girls like you and other friends in the industry who are just want to be friends and let's just work together. Let's just co-write. Let's just act.
What? Yeah.
I know. I think it's really sad when people don't support each other because this industry is so small. In South Africa, it's so small. And then globally, there are like 4 people that run this industry globally. And I mean, everybody knows each other. And to not actually be friends with each other is really sad. And to see the cattiness and like in a space in the voice where you're in this room together. You are condensed, you're pushed together like cattle. And I mean, why would you not want to be friends with people? Why would you not want to just encourage each other? So
I think they saw a
it
tough
was so
opponent.
competitive. Pardon?
So
I just think they saw a tough opponent in you. You sing well and you sparkle, and they're like, that's why they hate you.
It was actually the opposite. They thought that I didn't deserve to be there.
What?
Oh wow. Why was that?
My vocals were weak because I'm not like a power, like a type of singer. I'm like I'm a pop singer, songwriter singer. For me, it's not about the belting; it's about the music. So I mean, I know the one coach, Rihanna Nell, always used to say, Amy, don't worry about them because like you can play in a band and you can play any instrument, they can't do that. So just ignore them. And like,
wow.
But it was only a few people who were like that. Like after the show, everybody kind of became friends. So
Cool.
it's really like the headspace is hectic, and it wasn't good for me. I would like cry almost every day because I couldn't handle that. I just wanted to make music and have fun, and everybody else was like, like I'm gonna hit that note. So, yeah.
You put that pressure on yourself. You're setting yourself up for failure because it's you're a human being. We're never gonna be perfect every single time, and you gotta just enjoy the journey. It's all part of it. But I actually wanted to chat to you about the contract. I don't know how far I know you can't talk about it too much, but because I think I've got a lot of friends. I know a lot of people that have done either The Voice or South Africa's Got Talent. Like my sister came second in 2015. South Africa's Got Talent. Like, and the sort of contract that people were signing, you're either signing away everything that you do, you're signing away your name for a year, or you're fighting the deal. I mean, what was it like for you signing that contract and being sort of kept by The Voice?
I didn't sign the contract.
Oh, there we go. Well, that's cool.
That's why, and I'll say this because I don't care. Universal Music don't like me, because I read that contract, and I'd already signed a publishing contract with John, your publisher as well, and they were like, well, then you can't enter. And I was like, well, actually, let me just go to your website. It says you cannot have a record deal. Okay, a record deal does not specify a publishing deal. So you need to go and verify exactly what you mean for that statement to have any sort of whatever. And they literally couldn't do anything. They had to let me be in the competition because I'd already made it to the top 16.
Wow, that is hilarious. And Christian is okay. Do you want to hop in here, Christian? I can see you. I see you. Oh, is he frozen? Don't tell me he's frozen. Oh no. Oh wait, he's there. He's there. Oh man. I mean, Christian, are you with us? Did you jump a bit? Oh
yeah.
No.
Sorry, I'm just. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I can see you want to hop in, so hop in.
No. I was just laughing because I saw that contract from The Voice. Numerous guys sent me that contract afterwards saying that they are restricted. They can't do X, Y, and Z for so long. What can they do about it? So to hear that some people actually, like Amy, actually said, "No, I'm not signing this." It just, I'm glad that you actually took the time to take them on it, and still ended up on The Voice. It can show musicians and other people that want to take part in future events like this, because competitions like that have their place in the music industry. It's the truth. And if you refused to sign it, but you ended up seventh on The Voice, which means everybody else listening that wants to enter a competition like The Voice, this is why you can actually fight them on a contract. You don't have to sign it just to get on the show. There is a way around it. You can negotiate it. You can say, I refuse to sign this. I don't want to sign this clause. I don't like the fact that I'm not, for argument's sake, allowed to release new music for 6 months after the show has ended.
Yeah.
Again, argument's sake, I'm not naming names, but that's the reality. Some of those contracts have that in place, and musicians, and especially upcoming musicians taking part in competitions like that, tend to feel like they don't want to step on toes because they're just so grateful for the opportunity to be on something like that.
Yeah.
And then later down the line, they shoot themselves in the foot because there's only one guy that's going to win, and that person isn't, or girl that's going to win, and that person isn't necessarily the one that's going to be a success at the end of the day. So that contract, when you enter it, is actually governing the entire show for you and thereafter. So it's extremely important to read the contracts and
Yes.
negotiate on them. If you don't like something on the contract, don't sign it, because and if you sign it, you have to like it, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I was laughing. The fact that I didn't know somebody didn't sign it. So yeah.
I didn't. I had like literally a red pen with my contract, and I drew lines through all the things I didn't like, and I initialed
Well
it.
done.
Did it.
So,
You know,
so
and the other contestants, again, I'll say this again, they were like, oh, why are you being so ungrateful? Why? And I'm like, why aren't you? Why aren't you doing this? You're a songwriter. They're going to take your songs. If you win and they choose to sign you, they're going to own your songs and can give it to anybody else to use and sing, and you won't get a cent. Like, no.
Wow.
So like I was very much like the one that was like, no, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Because once again, I was one of the only people who actually worked in the industry that entered the competition. And there is that difference, you know, like there's a lot of people enter to break into the industry, and that's what's so horrible, how they take advantage of them like that. It's so wrong because they don't know all of those things. They don't know the rules. They don't know what it's really like out there and how one shark can silence you for 5 years. You know, I mean, the realistic thing, what these labels do is they will go and sign 10 people just so that they can have the monopoly, so that the one person that they do like can dominate the industry, and
shelve everybody else,
which are the competition, cannot release.
Yeah, very true.
Some of these contracts literally state that we have an option on you for a year. So we're not going to sign you, but you're not allowed to sign with anyone else for a year because we want to, like Amy said, take you out of the competition. We have somebody we want to push. We feel your competition, so you're not allowed to release music or sign anything. And should you release music, we own it, whether you're signed with us or not. And as ridiculous as it sounds, that's actually clauses that I've seen in contracts where musicians they stop doing anything, they stop performing, they stop writing because of this restriction on them.
Yeah,
and
it's very true.
It's the reality. People unfortunately take advantage. It's not all of them. It's not across the board, but the fact is, in some instances that exists, and musicians should be aware of it. So not trying to be negative, just trying to warn people just to look out for things like that.
Yeah.
And make use of people there, friends in the industry, people like Amy, that if you don't want to talk to an attorney or organization like us, talk to other musicians. They sometimes know things from experience. And network. Like you said, it's a network of people. We're not in competition with each other. We're actually I can own 5 CDs and listen to all 5 CDs. Just because I buy Amy's song doesn't mean I'm not going to buy Alex's song. I can buy both. But for some reason, some of the musicians forgot that concept. They're like, okay, no. You're also a singer, so I don't want to share anything with you because just now you're my fans.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And I love the saying by Christina Aguilera. She says there's enough room on my iPod for everybody. Back in the days of iPods, there's enough room for everybody. And I do love what you're saying, Christian. And it's so true. Just to look out, to try and be savvy enough to look out for those key words, those key phrases, which is not always easy because lawyers, people that put together those contracts, are using words that don't even exist in the dictionary, So like, I mean, like, it's so to have the savvy, Amy, to have the savvy to actually to read it, try and comprehend as much as you can, and then decide this is not for me. I think that takes real guts. And I would actually just love to jump to Maisie, because you're another woman in this industry that has had savvy to get where you are, girl. I mean, no, I mean the contracts you have signed, and to have a song in 2 games where they've had over 1 billion downloads. I mean, it's unreal. And I mean, you just, can you, when it came to signing those deals and signing those sync deals, what was it like dealing with the people? Did you get a brief and then you popped the song in, or how did that all come about?
Well, it was actually a kind of crazy, very lucky coincidence, because I met them at a conference in San Francisco, like the company, and they were like, "Oh, you're a singer-songwriter, like we have this game and we're looking for music." And I was like, "Okay, what's your game?" And turns out it was one of the biggest games in the world, and they ended up liking the music I had already made. So there wasn't really any quote. There wasn't like, it was a very lucky situation, because I know it's not always like that. So there were like 2 different deals that I signed. The first one was for Dancing Line, which is like one of the games that the company owned. And it was just a really good deal. I was able to negotiate a lot because I am actually a law school dropout, and I kind of had a lot of luck knowing all of that. And I was just like, listen, guys, like, I am a songwriter, but I'm also a business person, because I am not going to sign something that takes all of the rights from me and gives that to you. And especially since this is China, it was tricky to navigate the copyright, and we had to secure it as much as possible. But since it is China, it was very
Different
tricky,
language, everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, it took consulting about like 2 or 3 lawyers, like on top of my own knowledge, and kind of, even my parents, who are like business people who have done different deals with China. It was just like very different people. And I guess like the one thing that I learned from that was just do not be afraid to ask for help. Like, do not be afraid to reach out to people. I reached out to a lot of people. I reached out to lawyers that I didn't know, and I just kind of wanted to make sure that I protect myself, I protect whatever I possibly can, and I just structure it in a way that is gonna like help me build a career, because that was my first ever single. I had not released anything before that. It was like such a lucky coincidence. And then later when they gave me a brief, and it was pretty much same thing again, like protecting my rights. But like the moral of the story is just really, really network, and do not be afraid to like walk up to someone and be like, "Hey, I'm whatever your name is. What do you do? Whatever," because this was literally what happened. It was just right place at the right time.
I think that's amazing. And again, like this word networking always just comes about. I love that you're not afraid just to go and ask somebody, "Hey, I'm Maisie. I'm a singer-songwriter," and put it in the little black book.
Like, I am afraid. My mother, though, she ever since I was little, she would like take me by the hand and be like, "Marta, say hi to this person. Say hi to this person." I mean, Marta is my Polish name. So like, she was like, "Go, say hi. Say do this," and just yell at me. So just, if you don't have that mother, just be like, be your own mother in your head and be like, go, go, and do it, because it really does pay off.
And I love your mother, by the way. I love your mother.
Oh, she loved you too.
Oh, she's so cool. We'll have a moment after this. I love your mum. Well, I want to ask Christian, when it comes to sync, and what are the main words? What are the key things that an artist should look out for when it comes to signing that sync deal? Because often a company will buy the actual master to the track and then they'll pop it in. I mean, so what do you think is the best idea or deal for a singer-songwriter or a composer of music? And what are the key words that one should look out for when it comes to signing away a song for sync?
Yes. Well, sync, I know a lot of SA musicians are watching, so sync isn't really something that we know of that much in South Africa, although I hope it picks up soon. So we haven't seen, or at Fame and in my personal capacity as an attorney, haven't seen a lot of agreements related to sync. But a concept is still the same. It's and then I can't see you guys at all.
Oh, sorry, we lost you for a minute. Are you there? Oh, there we go. Signal's better now. Signal's better. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, so the concept of sync is in essence the same as just you're assigning your copyright or portion thereof or related rights to a third entity to reuse it or sell it or however it will be. So every situation differs, and it depends on what you get out of this and what you are happy with. If you are happy with a once-off payment and you sign over everything and that's it, if that's what you're into and you sync a song a week, for instance, and you're happy with it, that's fine. It's again what your personal preference is. Or if you want to sign it and then get royalties out of it, so it might not be an upfront payment, but you get portions for the duration. But again, then you'll have to look at, is it viable? Is it worth doing that? And then maybe whatever it's synced to doesn't pick up or doesn't take off, and you get a portion of what you would have gotten. So doing research in what your music will be used for is essential. But when it comes to the contract itself, it is that fine line between what am I giving away and what am I getting in return, and then if you are comfortable with that. So that's for sync. But in any essence where you are a songwriter, for instance, writing songs for other musicians, look at what you are comfortable giving away and what you are comfortable getting in return. That's the essence of any contract like that, any agreement you sign to give away a portion of what you created.
And also, sorry.
Words. Find out what those words mean. Don't just assume. That's really important. Don't assume you understand. If you don't understand, make sure.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And like Marta was, or like Maisie was saying, is to ask the person to contact the person and say, "Hey, friend." I've also got friends who are lawyers, and the amount of times I've just called them up and say, "Hey, dude, what does this mean?" And I mean, back in the day, I would just ask them random questions, and they're so keen to help you. I mean, we're all pottering through life together, so why not just ask your friends around you? And don't ever, like what Christian said, don't ever just assume you know what something means. Ask the question. No question is a silly question ever. But speaking of dealing with music and China, Oscar. Well, you have had a song that was right. It was number 29 in the charts in China. Am I right? That is very, very cool. I mean, and you co-wrote that online. Am I assuming over Zoom?
Well, not actually over Zoom. This was like a couple of years back, so we mostly just sent the things back and forward and pick up the phone.
Cool.
And stuff. So they wrote they had like a small melodic piece and the title, but they didn't get any further, like with the verses and the pre-chorus. So they just asked me for help, and I found I really like what they've done, so I found great inspiration and did something more. And then we had like a ballad for an artist project, but he had troubles finishing it, and it didn't feel right for his album. We just somebody who works with Asia want to try to publish the song, and
wow,
then like in 1 week, a Chinese artist took it on hold. So they're like saying like, don't send this to anybody else. We're gonna try to record it.
Wow, that's really cool. I mean, I watched the music video. It is beautiful. It really is
Right?
beautiful. And the song is stunning, but it's all in Mandarin.
Yeah, I have no
The
clue
song's
what
in
they're
Mandarin.
singing about. Yeah.
So, I mean, how did you write? Did you speak Mandarin?
Yeah, a little bit. No, it was totally in English. Every word, everything.
Oh,
And
and they
that's-
translated it.
yeah, and usually, like if you work with Korea or Japan, they usually keep the title. So, but here they changed everything. So I think it's really cool. Like they took melodies and like the emotion of the song, and they wrote a totally other story. It's nothing correlates with the original story. So, yeah.
Well, that is so cool. I mean, and since we're talking about signing deals and having that song, because you mainly write songs for people and you co-write
Only.
with people for their
Yeah.
you only do that. You write songs for their career. So, firstly, what was it like when it came to that deal and putting together that deal? Do you have a publisher that found the song, or somebody approached you and sourced the song? And then, what was putting that deal like for you?
So I think this is one of my first signed songs, and I met a publisher on a Christmas party, and he was nice. I got a good sensation like in my stomach. So yeah, and it was really it was I do only song by song deals, which is really nice because if they really like the song and want to work with it, then you make a deal, and they don't own anything else that you've done ever.
Wow, yeah, that's really smart to do that.
Yeah, and also like even if you because you get fooled like when you do deals and you learn all the time. But if you do song by song basis, then the next song you can do a new deal or a new deal, or have a new publisher. So it's I really like that. Yeah.
No, very true. I think that's I've seen a few of my friends start to do that sort of trend, and I think it's a really cool idea to do that. Because again, you're only signing away the one song, and you have to write 2 million songs to write the one hit song. And if you write the one hit song, you're gonna write another one, later. So it's never the end of the world if you sign away the one song. It's not going to end your career. But if you sign away all of your music for 20 years, that's a problem. That's where the issue comes in. I mean, Christian, what is your opinion on one song deals or one album deals versus a 5-year contract?
Well, again, it depends on what you get out of it and what you're comfortable with. At the end of the day, most contracts come down to look at what you are comfortable with. But I think with the music industry now.
Ooh.
Lagging.
Oh, the signal again. We like drop him every sec. Are you there again? Wait. Are you there? Oh no, we've lost him again. Oh no. I'm gonna do this. Oh shame. Okay, we'll get him back in a minute. Oh wait, are you back, Christian? I don't know if you can. I'm gonna give him a minute just to internet. Oh, that's so sad. Okay.
It's very dramatic.
It is very dramatic. Go.
Yeah.
So well, listen. I think we should, since we're talking about music and songwriting and everything, I think we should have a writer's round. I think we should do this. Well, just so everybody knows, everyone that's watching, Marta and I. Sorry, Maisie. I'm
fine.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I know it. Sorry, but I know your music says Maisie. I know. But we met in Nashville, and writers' rounds mainly exist in Nashville, Tennessee. And what they are, it's with 3 or 4 or 5 people on stage, singer-songwriters that are all plugged in with either their guitars or their piano, all plugged in with their mic. And they each sing a song, an original song, in turn, and they play that for an hour. And then when the hour's over, the next guys get on. And this happens in every single bar, down every single street in Nashville, Tennessee. It is just the way of life. And it's similar to an open mic, but a writer's round. So I have my own event here in South Africa called Writers Round SA that I've had it for 3 years, but I haven't been able to do anything this year. Sad. But we're able to do it here on IBM.TV in the Music Cafe. So we're going to play some live music. So I think Maisley, you've experienced these before. I think you should kick us off. Give us a little bit of a, you know the drill. Give us a bit of
Yeah, I
a
do.
story and do the thing. Do the thing.
Well,
Bless you,
since
Amy.
oh bless
Sorry.
you. Well, I mean, in Nashville, we would be in the listening room cafe or somewhere beautiful.
Bluebird.
Bluebird, sad, but I actually haven't played for like 3 months. So this is the first thing I'm doing since lockdown. But
Oh.
this is a song that I wrote like, let's say around a year ago actually. I realized I finished recording my new album a year ago, which is insane, and it still hasn't been released because thank you, COVID. But I just come back from Nashville actually, and I was like, oh, like I'm just feeling so nostalgic. Like for the first time, like I'm coming back to like a guy that I actually like, and it's all good, and I'm like terrified that it's gonna end. And actually flashback to a year from then, it actually did end. But at the time, I was like lovey-dovey. It was great. So I wrote a song about all those like little things that you think of, like when you start overthinking. Like us women, we're like total overthinkers, and we just think and think and think. And so that is kind of a song like that. So yeah, bear with me. I'm just gonna try it. How to try it. I get chills, but your touch just want me. Every inch of me just wanna let me sleep. Tracy, I want you on there. Feel your arms even if you ain't there. Smell of cologne standing in my head. I wish you were here, so I wanna dream you in. Cause I'm scared to get used to you. Yeah, I'm scared to get used to you. Oh, 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 what can I say? Oh, 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 goes without saying, babe. I wish I could hate you, wish I could want you less. Cause I wanna get used to being used to you. I wish I could curse you, wish you could harm me less. Cause I don't wanna get used to being used to you. What if one day I wake and you ain't there? Like you're not coming back and you don't care. Had it happen to me a few times before, but I feel you matter to me more and more. Oh, 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 what can I say? Oh, 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 goes without saying, babe. I wish I could hate you, wish you could harm me less. Cause I don't wanna get used to being used to you. I wish I could hate you, wish you could harm me less. Cause I don't wanna get used to being used to you. I know what you're feeling, just without saying it. I know what you're feeling, goes without saying it. I know what you're feeling, know what you're feeling. Cause boy, I'm feeling it. I wish I could hate you, wish you could harm me less. Cause I don't wanna get used to being used to you. I wish I could curse you, wish I could want you less. Cause I don't wanna get used to being used to you. That was used to.
Yay!
Thanks, y'all.
That was beautiful. Oh my gosh, beautiful.
Thanks.
I love that. So,
Well,
I mean, did you write that by yourself, or was it a co-written song?
Actually, like I write with this guy called Ian Barter over here. He used to write with Pull Up with Faith. He did stuff with Amy Winehouse. So he's an awesome dude, and he actually wanted to write with me. So I was like, oh my god, that's so cool, and we're actually friends
Yes,
now.
please. Oh my
But
gosh.
So
That's
like I was
amazing.
totally jet lagged, and so I'm in the cab. I'm going to this countryside place, which is like an hour and a half from London, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so dying. I'm so jet lagged, and I'm falling asleep. And then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna write in the Uber, and so I wrote the lyrics in an Uber. I get to his place. We start playing around. He's like a guitar genius, so he has like these cool chords, and we're like, okay, this is sounding like a song. We recorded it that day in like 6 hours, and it was done.
Wow. I
That-
love songs like that just all together. I
Right?
love that.
Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing. And I love that you wrote it in. I have the amount of songs that I've written in an Uber as well, just because you're sitting there and the people you meet, these Uber drivers are
Right?
hilarious and they know all the rubbish on everyone. They're gonna spill the tea, they know it all. And I flipping
Wow.
love Uber drivers. So
yeah.
love it.
I like get nostalgic in an Uber. So obviously I'm like overthinking in an Uber and I'm writing this down. This is
Totally.
like songwriter's gold.
Amazing. Absolutely stunning. Well, Amy, would you like to go next in our writers round?
Yes.
So I think I should let everyone know that Amy and I have actually written together in the past, and I know you say that you're a pop singer songwriter, but girl, your voice, voice. We've written, girl, please, your voice. But go for it. You have the screen.
Okay, I just put new strings on my guitar, so it's very dodgy sounding right now. Okay, it's in G. Okay, I'm gonna play you a song that I wrote for my fiance before we got together officially. So we were dating for like 3 weeks, and I was like, I need to give this guy a push to make it official and ask me to be his girlfriend because these days are super flaky, and I'm just like, I didn't want to be in that limit. I'm like, am I your girlfriend or am I not your girlfriend? So I wrote him this song, and then a week later he asked me out. So
I love it.
it was my trick.
Well done.
So this is the song. It's called Show You Love. Waking up next to you is not hard to do. I'd stay in bed all day just to hear you say, oh, mister, hey, I'll take your name someday. Yeah, run away with me, will you be my love, be my love. Yeah, you should stick with me, 'cause I'll show you love, I'll show you love. You're making me wonder when I want down under a state on your mind. I'm lucky to find a man like you. You're making me shy, you're my kind of guy. Yeah, you got my eye, I hope you'll ask me soon. Run away with me, will you be my love, be my love. Yeah, you should stick with me, 'cause I'll show you love, I'll show you love. You're making me wonder when I walk down under a state on your mind. I'm lucky to find a man like you. You're making me shy, you're my kind of guy. Yeah, you got my eye, I hope you'll ask me soon. I'll show you love, oh no, I'll show you love, I'll show you love, show you love, yeah. I'll show you love.
Dude, that was
Love
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
That is so cute. Oh my gosh. I love that. I absolutely love that.
And like, you put me on it. There's it.
Yeah, girl.
They put a ring on it. I love that. Oh my gosh, I love your songs. I mean, the Maisie and I are going to be writing for the first time in like 2 years. We've known each other for how long? We're writing for the first time next week, which I'm next week.
Yeah.
Week after. It's on my calendar.
We'll check it.
Yeah, my calendar will tell me when. So I'm excited to write with you. And then I've written
me
with Amy,
too.
and I love writing with Amy. So I mean, oh gosh, this energy is just. Oscar, are you having fun?
Yeah, a lot.
You know what? We gotta have you on again soon, where you can actually like play something for us.
Lovely.
Yeah, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
You'll never hear from me again, but lovely. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Well, I want to ask guys, can you hear is my guitar loud enough?
Sounds good.
It's good. Okay, cool, amazing. So you were actually talking about Amy, that you found your dad's dusty guitar in the garage and everything. Well, this guitar is my dad's, but it's mine. He bought it. So he bought it in 91, and it cost him a whole month's salary. And like he was working at a bookstore, and he was like, I want to play the guitar. So he bought this beautiful Ibanez guitar. It's made out of Japanese wood. I mean, made in the mid 80s. It's like it's been water damaged and heat damaged, everything. But it's there's something about an old guitar that I just love. I've currently got 5 or 6 guitars, but this is like my working baby. So I appreciate a story about Dad's guitar. But I'm gonna end this writers round with one of my songs. Mine on the thing for me. I don't know. There we go. There we are. It's a B string for me. So I'm gonna end off the writers round section of the show with a song that I wrote. I sort of wrote it, I think, like in the second week of lockdown. It took me a whole 45 minutes. One of the songs where it was just like, I've got these feels, check it out onto the laptop or docs, and like it was just one of those songs. And I wrote it because the reality is, I don't know about you guys, but the reality is, life during COVID in lockdown isn't very different to my real life.
Same here.
We spend our times indoors writing all the time, and to just have like a Zoom write is like, it's way easier than getting in your car, paying for gas to go to someone's house. But here you can just do it over Zoom. I mean, it's been great for me. So this is one of those songs I wrote, like, my life isn't any different, but hopefully, when I do get out of here, and I am able to leave the house, hopefully I'm going to run into that person, whoever that person is, and he's going to put a ring on it. So this song is cool. It's called "Shot of Champagne." And actually, I've got a friend, Sloan, who's working on it. And he sent a comment. Oh, here we go. Amy, you got a fan from Sloanie Sonemans. Thank you, Sloanie. So Sloanie he produced my last single, "Typical Girl," and he's busy working on this song now, which is, I'm really excited for it. But here is "Shot of Champagne." Never really out much, misplaced my keys. Car took a minute to start, flat battery, and I had 10 million reasons why I don't leave home. No, I never go out, but boy, you got me alone. I got the right kind of bubble, like a whiskey drink, a devil, take a chance on this masterpiece. I never been much trouble, but my eyes all in a huddle, cause now I only wanna be a shot of champagne. Oh, yeah. Wanna be a shot of champagne. Yeah. And now you got me dancing, in bare feet, and they're playing my favorite song, Sweet Melody. And I had 10 million reasons why I don't leave home. No, I never go out, but boy, you got me alone. I got the right amount of bubble, like a whiskey drink, a double, take a chance on this masterpiece. I never been much trouble, but my mind's all in a muddle, cause now I only wanna be your shot of champagne. Yeah. Wanna be your shot of champagne. Yeah. And I had 10 million reasons why I don't leave home. And I had 10 million reasons to stay alone. But you got me good tonight. Champagne and rolling dice. Take a chance on us tonight. I got the right amount of bubble like a whiskey drink me double. Take a chance on this masterpiece, babe. I never been in trouble, but my mind's a little metal, cause now I only wanna be. I got the right amount of bubble, like a whiskey drink me double. Take a chance on this masterpiece, babe. I never been much trouble, but my mind's a little metal, cause now I only wanna be. You shot up champagne, oh yeah. Wanna be. You shot up champagne. Wanna be. You shot up champagne. Wanna be. Shot up champagne.
Yay!
Woo!
Thank you.
What a treat!
That was really cool. I like the fast to the slow, and the fast to the slow is really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was a bit of a challenge writing it because I was like, I love that. One of the things that I love about Ed Sheeran is that he's got this music and his words are the percussion. Like his words, the way he has his rhythm is the percussion. I was like, you know, why not learn from the greatest and try put that in? So that's my take on a Ed Sheeran inspired.
You actually killed it.
Thank you. Really do appreciate it. Well, we've got our Poppin. we've got our Poppin who's gonna pop back in.
Yay!
Hi. It's nice to have you back. Well, listen, we're about to come to the end of our show, which is very, very sad because you guys have been. I know, you guys have been so cool, and I love just chatting to everybody. And the problem is, I just chat way too much. I talk. I don't know about you guys. I'm a singer-songwriter. I talk too much.
No.
I want to. I've got a few more questions to go around the room, but I think, Christian, would you mind? We do this at the end of the show, but I know because you're popping. I would love to just get this in now. Are there any pearls of wisdom that you would love to say to a up and coming somebody, a writer, composer, whatever it is in the industry that you feel they just need to know that is important when it comes to contracts and your career?
Yes. Let's hope internet lasts. So firstly, first thing is make sure that you understand that each situation differs. Just because an agreement might suit Oscar, it might not suit Maisley, and vice versa. So consider each thing in isolation, and that's not just each contract.
No.
It's each specific clause.
I feel like we should all move slowly to help. Oh no! Oh, I know. Okay. Oh wait, we can hear you.
We want free legal advice. Come on.
Give me.
Oscar, that's exactly it. We want free legal advice. There you are. You're back. I'm coming. Oh my god. Here we go. We got you. I'm so excited. I've never been this excited. Oh my goodness. We got you. Okay, talk.
Okay. Did you catch the first part?
Yes, kind of.
Okay. Second thing is... Sorry, that caught me off guard. The second thing is remember that the contract will govern the rest of your career, or at least a portion of your career. So make 100% sure that piece of paper you sign, you're comfortable with. I know I've said it many times, but that's the essence of it. The moment you sign it, you're stuck with it. Trying to fight a contract that you already signed is expensive, it's time consuming, and you might actually lose at the end of the day. So signing a 5-year contract, you're going to fight 5 years to get out of it, and you're going to lose 5 years of your life and your career. So make sure before you sign it, you're comfortable with it. And get people to look at it. Don't trust the person that hands you the contract to give you the right advice, because he's in it for him, or that company is in it for their own benefit, which is business. So get a third party, independent from anybody, to look at this and give you advice. And just a quick third thing: if there's a Latin term, ask them to put the English phrase in there.
Yeah, very interesting.
Contract must be in English or Afrikaans or whatever your language is, not in Latin. Nobody speaks Latin. Nobody understands Latin. If you see Latin in a contract, ask them to reword it into English.
We got it. Oh my goodness, we got that reworded. Okay. Oh man, that's so sad. But you guys, Christian's here. There you are. You're back. We literally got that. We got that at the end. That they must reword it into English. Christian, I know your internet is bad. Thank you so much for popping in. Appreciate it. And I'm sorry that we've had the technical problems. Thank you so much, Christian. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. See you again. Get in contact with me if you want to chat again. So sorry, I'll sort out the internet for next time.
That's fine. Bye. I'm gonna make sure that everyone can get their details and everything. But I think so many comments here. Wow. Okay. Hi, Mark Lee. Hello. And then Sloan wants to know how he rewinds. Sloan, you have to wait to the end of the show. Sorry. Okay. We've got lots of comments here. And says instead of doing long-term contracts that limit your freedom exposure, I would instead do single record or single song deals to not limit you in the long run. I've learned from Christian from Fame. Okay, so he's learned. So, like Christian said, each to his own. It depends on the deal. Depends on the music. It all depends. But the thing is, always ask. It's never a silly question. But I actually want to ask. So, lockdown has been quite a thing, and especially for us musers, I feel like our industry was the first to really be hit, and I think that we're the last that is going to recover when it comes to live music. Because as a singer-songwriter, I make the majority of my money by doing live gigs, and I ain't doing no live gigs, so it's kind of difficult. But there are blessings in disguise, I think. And Oscar, have you found that there have been blessings in disguise when it comes to COVID? Has anything positive come out of this for you?
Well, Amy. Well, I gotta say, like, working, even though we wrote that China song in distance, I didn't really like that style, because it's something else when you're in the same room and when you get this whole energy and this whole thing together. And I always felt like doing it online on Zoom or something is always a couple of steps down from that.
Sure. Sure.
But then we had an awesome session now, and we found that energy, and we've been able to find it like several times, and it's fun and it's exciting. So I think this actually opened the door to work more digitally or with anybody, actually. So for me, that's been great.
Yeah. And for you, Amy, working with Oscar?
I love working with Oscar. Like I said, it was all by accident. And then we just became like besties, and he would phone me and I'd be in my pajamas and be like, hello, and we just became friends, and we write about all sorts of things. We're both quite ambitious. So we we kind of have these goals now where we're going to enter Eurovision, and so we're doing, and a Eurovision movie came out. I was watching it, and it was it was so cool.
I'm dying to see it.
It's cool.
It's pretty good.
Oh my god, that's amazing, though. Good. Please keep us in the loop with what you guys are going to be up to when it comes to your music, because that'll be so cool to keep an eye on that. So I'm going to hop to Maisley in a hot second, but I'm going to ask Amy a question that's going to tie into you, Maisley. When it comes to Amy, you have worked in the UK in London, and you've lived there, and you've done the circuit, and you've done the circuit here in South Africa. as a South African that also travels, I can see the holes in this country's industry. We feel it, but I think it's all relative to any country that you're in. Every country has their holes in the music entertainment industry. But have you felt what are the biggest differences that you felt when it comes to the UK and then when it comes to South Africa?
So it depends which part of the industry you're working in. Okay, so for me, I was kind of doing at that stage, I was doing more like pub gigs, hotel gigs, and things like that. And it took me quite a while to break in the UK because obviously they hire people that they know and they do all those things. So the first thing that I did was I Googled all of the agents, all of them, everyone. Like I had a file this thick of agents, and I emailed all of them. And like about 20 got back, and I got into all their books. And by the time I actually left London, I was fully booked, like 6 nights a week.
Amazing.
And they pay you properly there. But it took me about like 7 to 8 months to get there, and I was only in London for like just over a year. So if I had stayed, money-wise and earning-wise, I would have done better. But the reason I came back to South Africa was for the voice and for all these other contacts that I made. And in terms of as a career, as an artist by myself, as in releasing music, it was better for me to be here because the pool there is just massive. But in the small terms of gigging, like pub musicians and stuff like that, it's better in the UK. So it depends which way you want to go.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Maisley, you're currently in the UK, in London, in the most beautiful place in the whole world, Notting Hill. Oh my gosh! But and I haven't experienced the circuit in the UK. I have been there, and I have seen, as an outsider looking in, I've seen it. But then I've experienced the circuit in Nashville, and to go from a space where in South Africa you have to play your 3 times 45-minute sets of covers in order to earn money, and to find those gigs where you can play your music, your original music, is such a gem to find that here in South Africa, because it's just not a culture that we're really, really invested in. Go to Nashville, you only play originals, unless you're doing the honky tonks and you've been hired to do covers, then you're hired to do covers, but you're encouraged to do your originals everywhere else. I mean, what has it been like for you, Maisley, doing the UK and then doing Nashville? Is there a huge difference for you? Do you prefer one over the other?
Yeah, I mean, like, mainly the difference is that Nashville is Nashville, and that's why it's so wonderful and so amazing, because it is a city that celebrates the songwriter more than anything else. And so, like, you're never going to find a place like the Bluebird Cafe or like the Listening Room where you have, like you said, those writers rounds. Like, but London has a large country scene, which if you're a country artist, it is a good place to be in, because the country scene here is much smaller. And if you're someone coming from a background like from Nashville, literally from Nashville, it is kind of crazy, because I truly randomly moved here. I got a gig at Fashion Week, and I just ended up staying for 6 weeks, which turned into 2 years. I, because of coming from Nashville, I kind of had it easy making contacts, but I just reached out to like literally whoever. Like I hired this business coach. I was like, do you know any songwriters or anything? And he was like, as a matter of fact, I actually do. And turns out that was one of the like major songwriters here in the UK. And so you just, like I said, like you've got to keep asking, like be brave enough to like ask everyone. And then I started going to gigs, which obviously there aren't a lot of like songwriter gigs, and you've really got to look out. But there is places, like you've really just gotta look. But I feel like the songwriting scene is kind of new here, and especially with country, and I just find it really fascinating. Like, you're learning every single day. Maybe it is smaller, but the amount of talent is incredible. And I was just really in a place where I was totally out of my comfort zone. I started writing with pop people whom I haven't written with in like years. And so, some of those people have written for like Callum Scott or like Little, not Little Big Town, Little Mix or like people like that. So you
That is
just,
so cool.
and it's great, but I feel like the best thing is if you're able to, as a traveling musician, to kind of merge those two worlds, because I moved here for songwriting and to be a pop artist, which I couldn't really do in Nashville. But if I wanted to be a gigging artist or someone like that, I would not advise moving to London because that's very hard. I have not performed a lot live because there's really not that many places to perform original country pop music.
I mean, I understand that, and it's interesting that you say as a traveling artist, because I think it's quite special to be an artist that is able to go from country to country, pick up everything that they need, grow their skill set. Because performing in front of different crowds in different countries, I mean, every space has its own thing. So to pick up those skills along the way is fantastic, and then to actually find your space in this world, because this world is everyone's got a bit of talent, and you just got to learn how to put enough glitter around it, put enough sparkle around it, mold it, and then find the place that it's going to hit home. Find the place where you feel comfortable producing your music and releasing your music, and then going back to that place and not giving up, to network, to get to know people, get to know the place, so that you're not just like, oh yeah, it's actually thought out and it's planned. Like Amy was, she was completely planned, thought out, knew exactly where she was going. And I think that is brilliant to have done that, Amy. Like, and not a lot of people do that, and a lot of people get burned when they go overseas because they either don't put enough planning into it, they don't go in with the right expectations, and to go into it and to actually get that amount of gigs and to come back not being burnt and not being bitter toward an experience. I think that's quite unique, actually.
I'd go back. I'd go back. I mean, now that I'm done with The Voice and I'm done with all of these things, and I've made these contacts, like I would move back to London now, because a lot of like the writing work that I'm doing is within Europe. It would be so much easier for me to live in London, so that I could go to Holland, I could go to Sweden and go visit, have a cup of tea with Oscar, and like go and do what I really want to do, which is the songwriting scene now. Obviously, I want to be like a rock star, but I mean, you never know.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like finding a place that you have people that you like working with. Like you said, like working with Oscar or like different writers, like you've got to be in a place where you have your team. And if that place no longer is where you live, you've got to try to move if you can.
I totally agree. If you can, of course, but yeah, find your team. I think that's another word that always floats around this room is TEAM, team. And not a lot of people build the right support. And maybe you're not able to like afford everybody, but there are contracts. There are ways of giving of doing things of doing what's the word, favors for each other. And I mean, there is to build that team of people around you who can ask for advice and help you along the way. And to find that group of people and then and sort of build your world around that. I think that's really important. But guys, this honestly, this Music Cafe room has just been absolutely incredible. And I'd love to have you all back again soon. I mean, just judging on the amount of comments we've had in, like, the people are just loving this and they're wanting more and more. We actually have so Christian from Fame has put down 4 points just so that he able to round off what he was trying to say. So, number 1, he's a free number then. This is hilarious. Number 1, each situation is unique. So I agree. Judge, you can't say copy paste. This is what I'm going to do for every single contract. Every single situation is unique. Depends on the song, depends on the people, depends on the place, And number 2, here's number 2. Make sure you are happy with everything in the contract before you sign. Very true. Don't be afraid to ask the hard questions like these people in this room have done. They've asked hard questions, and sometimes you don't have to sign. That's the way. You don't have to sign. It's not the end, and it's not the end of the world either. It's not the end of the world either. Number 3 is get an independent person to look at any contract before you sign. I agree. Always third party, somebody who's got a bird's eye view, fresh eyes, not looking at it as this big opportunity for you, but looking at it as, do these words make sense? Do these words make sense? And number 4 is ask that every term in Latin or legal term is defined in English, or whatever your home language is, whatever your mother tongue is, that is in a language that you can understand, that you can comprehend everything that's in the contract. So I totally agree with that. Thank you, fame.org.za. Appreciate you. But guys, thank you so much for spending your Sunday afternoon / evening with me in this cafe. It's been wonderful having you guys, and I just would like to go around the room and just sign off with, if you've got some pearls of wisdom, anything that you'd like to say to somebody up and coming in the songwriting, entertainment industry, or just something that you think people should know. Amy, would you like to start?
Okay, I say this all the time, and I live by this quote. You cannot win the lotto if you don't buy a ticket. You can't. You never will. Okay? So if you want to make it, if you want to be where you want to be, you have to take every opportunity, do what it takes, because you won't win if you don't enter. You won't.
I love that. That is amazing. And that's the thing, like with your London trip, you planned and you bought the ticket. I know it was Nashville, my very first time. I just bought the ticket and I landed and have a plan, but I just landed in Nashville, and we've all just bought quite literally the plane ticket, but in general, buy the ticket. I love that. That's going in my book of quotes for the Music Cafe. Hashtags, my book of hashtags. Thank you so much, Amy. You've been fabulous, and I miss your face. I miss writing with you. So this has been awesome.
I'll see you on Wednesday. We've got our co-write planned. Remember?
Yes. Yes.
It'll come up on your calendar.
That's the thing. My calendar, like I couldn't remember from this week or next week. Again, like with Nestle, I can't remember. I'm so sorry.
I can't remember either.
But my calendar will tell me on Monday I'll be able to talk. Oh my goodness. I'll see you next week. Oh, thanks. I miss you, girl. I miss you. But Maisley, do you have any pearls of wisdom you'd like to share with our viewers today?
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty cliche, but just like never give up. Like if a door is closed, like just get in through the window. Like just find a way. Like don't give up. If you think that like nothing is gonna happen, like just take it from me. Like stick through it, stay one more day, and maybe on that day you're gonna get signed or whatever it is that you want to get out of like your career.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, even if there is no window, just take a hammer and bash the door down or something. Make your own door.
It open. Make your own door, literally. Like just make your own opportunities.
I dig that. And there's a couple of weeks back, and we've had them on a number of times. There's a couple in San Diego called Vance and Tracy Marina, and they are the NSAI coordinators in San Diego. I'm the NSAI coordinator in South Africa, which is it's really cool. So we met through the Nashville Songwriting Association International, and we were chatting to them. They're mainly in the sync side of things, and they've done the music for Say Yes to the Dress, for New Girl. Like that's what they wrote. And I was chatting to them, and Vance's his little motto is literally follow up, and he's literally built his own doors. He's like, if they're in a door, I'm going to build my own. So I dig that. I think it's Music Cafe approved right there.
Well, thank you for having me.
No, you're welcome. I've loved seeing you, and I missed you, and I can't wait to write.
Yes. On whatever day it is.
Whatever day it is, my calendar will tell me what day it is. My calendar will tell me. Well, Oscar, it has been so cool. It has been so cool meeting you. And I love you all in the background. I think it's very pretty. Over there, though. Yeah, there we go. It's very pretty. But thank you so much for sharing your knowledge in this space. And Amy, thank you for connecting Oscar to the Music Cafe. Do you have any pearls of wisdom you'd like to share with our viewers?
Definitely. Well, I really like what you said about the team, like 5 minutes ago. So my pearl of wisdom is like focus on people who give you good vibrations. Like you write with a lot of people, and sometimes it doesn't work, but you want it to work because they're kind of good. And but when you find somebody who you like relate to and vibrate with, it's so much more fun, and you produce better material. So, and if you only focus on those positive people, and then you're gonna have your team. So
oh, totally. I love that. That's a big buzzword, team. And a lot of up and comings don't Don't just think, oh no, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna record it all. I'm gonna make my own clothes like Maisie does. I'm gonna do it all, you know. But to just find those people around you who you do vibe with, who you can trust with your heart, because music that you're creating isn't just you mechanically just doing something. You're actually putting your heart and your creative energy into this thing, and you need people that are going to support that. They're going to tell you when something isn't great, and that aren't going to tickle your ears, but are going to tell you the truth. But you need that team around you that you're going to feel the vibes with. So I appreciate that.
Summarized.
Well, I said it way longer than you, so. I do that. Yeah, I talk way
You
too
stole
much.
my 5 minutes of fame. Yeah.
Don't say that. Oh, now I feel bad. Oh, okay, fine. You know what the deal is? We'll have you back, and you can talk for 10 minutes.
That's lovely. I'm sorry. I shouldn't attack the host in the end of the show. It's really awful. Sorry.
That's so ugly. Oh man, no, you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. I will see you all very soon, and enjoy your week, everyone. Enjoy your week coming up now.
Yeah. Thanks, Alexandra.
Thank y'all.
Cheers.
Take care.
Bye. Bye. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this evening's Music Cafe. I mean, I have learned so much. I have loved chatting to everybody. This has been so much fun. If you guys have any more questions or any more comments, keep popping them in the comment section, or you can DM me on Instagram or on Facebook. I'm Alexandra May Music, and I can pass on any info that you guys need and connect you with anyone that you need to be connected with. If you have any questions for fame.org, again, just DM me on Alexandra May Music, and I will connect you with fame.org. They are a fantastic group of people. But you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for commenting and watching. And for now, stay safe. Call your loved ones, and I will see you same time, same place next week. Bye.
I ain't no typical girl. I ain't no typical girl. I ain't cheerleading while the boys play ball. I ain't no typical girl. No, I wanna